Hello, Snowflake Dev Day. Let me hear you all. Woo! It's wonderful to be here with you all. I'm Lisa Cohen, and I lead data science and analytics engineering for Anthropic. It's quite special to have this opportunity to be together with so many like-minded professionals from the data professions today. How are you all using AI in your workflows? Are you using them every day, as much as you could be? In the next 15 minutes, we'll unlock the power of AI for data because of the trends and the way our jobs and education are changing. While I've led data science at multiple organizations, including Google Gemini, Twitter, and Microsoft Azure, this is the first time I've been able to share publicly the same data analyses that we look at internally, typically for competitive reasons. So I'm excited to do that today as part of Anthropic's mission to share our learnings and enable a smooth transition to AI. Claude is our AI chat app and family of large language models. And all that we're going to be talking about today is made possible by Claude Insights and Observations, which enables an analysis of AI usage in a privacy-compliant way. We have a short time together, so let's jump in. By a show of hands, I want to know what you think. How big will AI be? To put it in perspective, here's the expected GDP of top countries in the world by the end of 2025. Do you think AI will be as big as the US? Let me see some hands. Any bold bets? How about it as big as China? Not sure. As big as Germany and Japan? In 5 short years, AI will be bigger than the GDP of China today. Wow. Did any of us expect that? AI is coming extremely fast, growing on every dimension. One way to measure AI's progress is in this chart from the Meter organization. Here we see the duration of tasks that AI is able to complete doubles every 7 months. So where is this all going, is a question that I hear often. Currently, we're moving from more assist to collaborate use cases, where instead of asking questions to AI, we can tell AI to complete workflows in an agentic workflow. In the future, we expect AI to innovate as well. Now, ironically, while I mentioned that this is the first time I can share data insights publicly, compared to other labs where I've worked, at Anthropic, I actually have the least direct access to user data due to our paramount commitment to privacy. So how can we at Anthropic discover how AI is being used and also ensure it's being done safely? You guessed it, we use AI. We use Claude to build Claude and its turtles all the way down. So to understand the trends and do this clustering, you could do it 2 ways. 1, we could do a tops-down classification of predefined categories, like writing or summarization, or a bottoms-up approach where you let the clusters emerge from the data. We do the latter, which is the most flexible way to discover how AI is being used, as it evolves over time. So how does Clio work? Starting from the actual conversations, Claude extracts key facets to summarize the topic. Then it clusters similar topics together, and finally creates hierarchical clusters to group broader topic areas, such as programming tasks, art and design, and life skills. And at each step of the way, there are privacy checks to remove personal information and ensure a minimum threshold for cluster sizes. If you'd like to use this approach to research your own app's usage, I encourage you to take a look at the paper where you can find the prompts that we provided Claude to accomplish this. One challenge with safety monitoring is that you have to know what you're looking for. But bad actors are always finding new loopholes. Another benefit of Clio is that it provides an effective way to catch new harms as they emerge. A big question in the industry today is how will AI affect jobs? So how can we use this data to answer that? We join the Clio usage data with our occupational data from the Department of Labor about job-specific tasks. And then we developed this view, which shows for each profession what percentage of their tasks are being impacted by AI. Good news. We publish this data publicly, so if you're curious to explore, go ahead. Now let's put this data into perspective. The black dots here represent the proportion of US workers in each profession. The orange dots show the percentage of that profession's tasks which are now being done with AI. Until robots or autonomous vehicles become more mainspread, professions that require physical interactions in the real world, like transportation, material moving, have less AI usage today. Also, roles that require high-touch relationships, like signing a big sales contract, are still being done with humans. However, that could certainly change in the future. Is there one line that stands out immediately when you look at this chart? Yep, that's software development. While it may only represent 3% of the economy, AI is helping with 37% of software development tasks. Arts, design, entertainment, sports, and media are also experiencing high adoption of AI for marketing, writing, and other types of content generation. So where are we on that curve that we looked at earlier between AI assisting versus collaborating? Well, to determine that, you guessed it, we use AI. We asked Claude to categorize usage between directive tasks, where you delegate the task to AI for automation, versus augmented tasks, where there's a feedback loop, iteration, or learning with AI. At this point in time, we still see more conversations labeled as augmented, 57%, than automated, which is 33%. How does that compare to your personal usage? If you only augment, maybe there are some opportunities to start experimenting with automating and get more efficiency. This will be really interesting to track over time as the models get better and better, and tasks where we still trust and verify today may be possible to fully hand off in the future. Automation will also increase as more agentic experiences come to market, such as Claude Code, which we released earlier this year. Now, let's dive even deeper into this usage data. Here's a tree view of the hierarchical clusters, starting with software architecture and code-based management. Developers can spend weeks to months getting up to speed with a new code base. Now with AI, it's happening far more efficiently. Refactoring is one of the first features I built when I worked on Visual Studio in my first job at Microsoft. Never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined that we would have a developer tool perform a 7-hour autonomous refactoring like we saw with our customer Rakuten recently. It's a great time to be a developer. Several people are telling me they're having so much fun coding, they want to switch from manager to individual contributor roles so they have more time to code and don't miss out on this moment. And a number of people using Claude for Code aren't even developers. Data scientists in our team and product managers all have a new superpower, and we can all build all the apps on our wish list. Let's do the recursive thing again. How are people using AI to build AI? They're using AI to design and debug AI systems. One application that I've found particularly valuable is using LLMs to evaluate LLMs. This can save a lot of time, cost, and in many cases produce even more consistent results than humans. Shifting to the database cluster of topics, it can take days, weeks, or even more to build a data model. AI can help speed up that process. Within our team, we're using AI to build pipelines, debug code, and clean data. Looking at data visualization, one of the challenges is getting the right data to the right people at the right time in the format for their question. Now with AI, we can serve data to people in a much more natural way, just in time, with a more human language experience. AI has also been a great lever for us for automating regular business reporting. Now, how many of you have kids in college? Or know somebody who is? Well, learning looks a lot different these days. Like professionals, students are finding great opportunities to leverage AI for computer science. But that's not all. Business, social sciences, and history are all using AI to learn new concepts and research. Like the automate and augment framework, students are using AI to do both. Problem solve together with AI, as well as create content. To help students learn and not just search for answers, AI apps are developing learning modes. Educators are also finding ways to adapt in this new world. Students are very adaptable and optimized for efficiency. They can often be the vanguard of new trends. So I look forward to seeing what we can learn from students about how they integrate AI into their workflows. So now that we talked about all these benefits, on the other hand, what could slow these trends and the progress of AI? What should we watch out for to navigate as we go ahead? First, discoverability. It's hard to know all the capabilities available. For any task, remember to first ask yourself, can I do this with AI? Create peer groups to share and exchange ideas of how others are integrating AI. Next, identify successful implementations to create momentum and realize the ROI. Another one we don't think will happen, but theoretically could change the trajectory, is if there's a halt in the scaling laws. Next, this technology requires substantial compute and power to train the models and serve customers. While we support regulation, if it's done in a way that's not overly restrictive or ineffective, in that case, it could stifle an innovation and backfire. And lastly, there are enterprise security requirements that AI apps need to follow so they can be broadly adopted in commercial settings. So we're all in this together. What are some positive actions that we can take to embrace AI ourselves and move the needle forward? As we just discussed, each time you set up for a task, ask yourself, can I do this with AI? This is something we continue to remind ourselves within the team at multiple places I've worked. So be disruptive and try new workflows. Second, like we always do in tech, keep learning. Because AI is changing and growing faster than Moore's Law, we have to keep up. With these exponential trends, skate to where the puck is going and build applications that push the boundaries of the models today because they'll be more powerful before you know it. And last but not least, keep your human relationships because they will never be fully replaceable by AI. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful event today, and I really look forward to seeing what you'll build in the future.